Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's video. Day 10 will take us to the 6th of May, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the excellent GFS and ECF ensembles. Maybe I'll try in a couple of weeks. Have a look at CFS V2 for May itself at the end of the video, and I should get over that for you in a moment. Just save that first. A video release was our 6 AM UK weather forecast. We've also released JMA Friday, so check out those two videos if you'd like to do that. And we've got the EC 42 day coming up for you this evening around 7, half 7, something like that. That would normally be released on Saturday morning, but this week we're doing it on Friday evening because tomorrow morning we've got the second summer 2024 season 1 roundup to release. So we're juggling all of the different updates at the moment. I say please like, share, subscribe, and all of David's content. And thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Now, I put out a little announcement on the GavsWeatherVids socials yesterday evening, so I've been going through a little bit of a time of it. I haven't said anything about it in the videos and, you know, publicly. One or two people know privately, but I haven't said anything publicly about what's been going on with me. But I have had another bit of a scare with the mouth and with the tongue. And yesterday I got the all clear. What I've got, you know, I've got an ulcer that's not going up the back of the tongue, but it isn't the C, so it isn't a recurrence of the cancer I had a couple of years ago. And I put out a social media post, you know, yesterday evening informing everybody of the news, of good news. And the response has been overwhelming, you know, always, everybody's so lovely to me. And that's the reason I didn't say anything initially, you know, when I had to have a biopsy like 3 weeks ago. Because I know everybody's so very kind, so very lovely, so very caring, and wants me to be well. You know, everybody's so invested in me being well. So I didn't want to worry anybody needlessly, you know, because these mouth ulcers that don't heal, they can be something, they can be nothing, you know. So you get the exact histology from a biopsy, you don't always know. And so that is the reason that I kept quiet, other than telling a few people privately. And luckily I was able to, you know, make an announcement and share my good news with everybody. But thank you so much for all of the lovely comments on YouTube, on Twitter, X, on Facebook, Instagram, you know, wherever you follow GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much for all of the incredible comments. I will be doing a little vlog in the next day or two on my personal Gavin Partridge channel, you know, just going over everything that's happened in the last few weeks and whatnot in a little bit more detail, and where we're going in the future as well in the next few weeks. So if you're interested in that, then that will be appearing on the personal channel in the next few days. But thank you so much to all of you for all of your lovely comments, for support. You're so generous to me all of the time, you know, absolutely lovely. And I'm so pleased that I was able to share my good news with you all. Thank you so much, everybody. You're absolutely amazing. I love the GavsWeatherVids community. There is a community that's better than the GavsWeatherVids community, honestly. You're all fantastic. Thank you so much. Right, okay, so let's start the video then. That's my little bit of news. Let's start the video then. And we're going to begin with the central intention. So we're now ticked down under 10 degrees. Finally, we've gone to 9.8. That's still 1.9 degrees above 61 to 1990 average. It's less than a degree above the 91 to 2020 average, though. And that is provisional to yesterday, to the 25th of April. I think I'll tick down a little bit more. Might reach around 9.7, 9.6. No, maybe 9.5 might be possible by the end of the weekend. However, we've got a couple of milder days, warm days to come early next week, so that might tick it back up again. Probably going to finish about 9.7, 9.8, I would imagine, by the end of the month, but it will be interesting to see. These were GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. We're in London today. The red line is a 30-year upper air temperature average for London. Starting off still below average at the moment. The upper air temperatures will be reverting closer to average, though, in the next few days. And by the beginning of May, we actually go slightly above average for a while. And then the upper air temperatures return back closer to normal. Now, this period here is quite interesting into the bank holiday weekend. So this is coincide with bank holiday weekend just here. And so that could become quite warm, actually. We might get the temperature into the low 20s Celsius. Probably won't last all that long, but we could have a couple of days quite warm weather coincide with the bank holiday weekend, but it won't be settled. The big talking point, I think, on the graph, rather than temperatures, actually with precipitation again. So we've got plenty of wet weather to come over the weekend, and then we've got a drier couple of days early next week, but then more wet weather coming back later next week with some pretty large precipitation spikes returning once more. So plenty of rainfall to come, I think, over the next week or two. Certainly doesn't look settled, does it? Then again, when does it ever? Temperature anomaly is from the 26th of April to the 4th of May. A little bit below average, not a particularly big deviation. We might see it going slightly above average, actually, in the next day or so. And precipitation anomaly from the 26th of April to 4th of May. Wetter than average for southern regions and drier than average in northern areas, which, as I said yesterday, is a little bit unusual, a little bit topsy-turvy, but it is something that does happen, particularly at this time of the year, actually, when you can get higher pressure to the north, you know, and easterly winds. Tends to bring dry weather to northern regions and can bring wetter weather to more southern parts of the country. Latest winter map from earth.school.net shows that we're still pulling in those chilly northeasterly winds again today. We've got low pressure though to the south, got low pressure off the coast of Biscay, and also, ouch, that hurt. Oh, still suffering with the ribs though. I good news with the mouth, but still in pain with the ribs. No, we've got low pressure off the coast of Portugal and to our south and southwest. This low just here going to be pushing northwards into the weekend, especially through Saturday night into Sunday. It will be bringing heavy rain with it, but will also lift the temperature up a little bit as well. So that explains how temperatures are going to start to stage a recovery as the air will start to move up from a warmer point in the Atlantic Ocean. Right, let's start going through chart data then. Let's have a latest UK Met Euro run. It's looking for midnight on Monday with low pressure then off the east coast of Scotland. So that's below. That's going to give some parts of the country some wet weather over the weekend. That low's off the east coast of Scotland by midnight Monday. Another low in the Atlantic, though. Looks like it's about to push in from the west. Right, so let's go through. So this takes us Tuesday, low pressure out to the west, and brings towards the east, brings the wind up more of a southerly direction. That should bring some warmer air in with it. And then the low pressure starts to sink southwards through the middle part of next week. That could bring some heavy showers into the south. Should mostly drive this area of high pressure, though, up to the north. And it's warmer as well. Although the wind is coming in from the east, which we think of as a cold wind direction. By the time you get to May, actually, easterly winds are relatively warm, especially if the origins of the areas like south of these, which this particular easterly is. So, all becoming rather slack through the course of next week, suggesting heavy showers, maybe some downpours, but should be warmer. Icon, again, bringing low pressure in, or having low pressure west of the country, UK and Ireland through Monday and Tuesday. Having low pressure sinking southwards, becoming cut-off low as it pushes down towards Portugal. And then weak pressure from the south could bring some heavy downpours, maybe a bit of thunder into southern regions into the second half next week, while more northern areas find themselves closer to a ridge of high pressure and should be drier. Quite warm as well with those easterly winds. Certainly warmer than it has been this week. The GFS, and that could be hard, couldn't it? We haven't got KMA, by the way, today. So something's gone wrong with KMA model at Metro Seal. When it's back on stream, then I'll bring it back. But at the moment, we are without the KMA. It is experimental model, so it may be, but they won't carry on with it at Metro Seal. You know, I don't know. But if it starts updating again, then I'll bring it back. Otherwise, you know, if you don't see it again, then obviously Metro Seal have not continued it. We'll see what happens. Right, so we go on to the GFS. Midnight run with low pressure in the Atlantic. That's bringing further mixed weather in with it. Through the course of next week, the low pressure sinks way to south, heights rise to the north, winds turn into the east. So weak pressure in the south, could be some heavy downpours in the south, should be dry close to high pressure up in the north in the second half next week. Then into a bank holiday weekend, GFS midnight run starts pulling these chilly northeasterly winds again, so turning cooler over the bank holiday weekend at least for a while before low pressure then start punching through around and just after day 10. And we get to the end of the GFS midnight run, and this is a change. Look at this. This is the Azores high, which you haven't seen all that much of over the past few weeks, but that is a nice build of pressure from the Azores, 10th of May. And the Azores high strengthens actually into the very end of GFS midnight run. That will bring a little taste of summer, believe it or not, to the south. That will get temperature into 20 Celsius. There'll be bags of sunshine with that as well. So a bit on the showery side up in north of this area of low, but let's not be too pessimistic. Overall, if you're waiting for a bit of summer, that's what you're waiting for. If you're waiting for some warm and dry weather, that is it with that area. High pressure building up from the Azores. Let's quickly go back to the ensemble graph actually and see how well supported that was. So we got the midnight run. Yeah, so it does become, so that is a bit of an outlier though, or it is an outlier, you know, in that particular period anyway. So yeah, not particularly well supported with that idea to be building up the high pressure from the Azores there, but never mind, doesn't mean that it won't happen, it just means that it's not well supported with the other ensemble members. Let's have a look at GFS 6 then, see if that does anything similar. So again, starting on Monday, low pressure out to west of country, bringing further unsettled conditions through the beginning of next week. Then the low pressure sinks away to the south, becomes cut off feature, but still with weak pressure across England and Wales, so further heavy showers are likely. Higher pressure further north could keep northern regions on the drier side. Moving up toward day 10, this is into bank holiday weekend, increasingly unsettled look to the weather. So the air's coming up from the southwest, probably relatively warm, but looking unsettled with this low. Potentially bring some quite wet weather through the course of the bank holiday weekend. Oh dear. We get beyond day 10 and unsettled weather goes on. There's another quite vigorous low pushing through there on the 8th of May. That's 300 hours away. It's a long way out, but GFS 6 they're keeping things unsettled, and certainly nothing like the build of pressure from the Azores with the GFS 6A compared to GFS midnight run. It does have some sort of ridge to the south and the east, but nothing like that extension from the Azores high. So just generally staying quite mixed and quite unsettled to the very end of the GFS midnight run there. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe. Make sure to everyone board doing that. Want to drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't get to your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. We need to put on around 75 subscribers to get ourselves to 18.1k. So if you could give us a sub to your friends and family to subscribe, that would be amazing. It would be incredible. And we will thank you so much everyone for doing this for us. GM, again with low pressure dominating the weather from the Atlantic on Monday. And we keep it unsettled through into the early part of next week. Then the low pressure sinks away to the south a little bit through middle of next week. Heights rise to the north, wind turning to the east. That's quite a warm easterly. Still with weak pressure in the south though, so low pressure to the south, bringing further heavy showers, maybe downpours, perhaps some bit of thunder throughout some regions. Northern areas should be drier under the area of high pressure. As head toward day 10, we're trying to raise the heights over to the east country. Low pressure out to west, so maybe start to kill off those showers into the bank holiday weekend and have a reasonable amount of dryish and warmish weather then. And then the ECM WF is looking like this. So again, we've got low pressure well and truly in control, low pressure in the ascendancy through the early part of next week. Should be relatively warm, but will be unsettled with that low. Into the middle and second half of next week, low pressure centre moves away to the south, but we keep weak pressure going for England, Wales anyway, and Ireland. Further downpours likely. Scotland probably drier with those easterly winds. And into a bank holiday weekend, the ECM also keeping things quite unsettled with a drop of low pressure never far away. A bit of uncertainty about this bank holiday weekend. It looks like it'll be quite mixed, I think. Wouldn't necessarily say it'll be a washout, but looks like it could be quite a mixed bank holiday weekend, probably. This precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from TibetShow.com. So we've got showy rain coming up from the south over the next few hours, tonight and tomorrow. And then some very wet weather piling up from the south across central, southern and eastern parts of England from Saturday night into Sunday. Sunday morning could be very wet in the east. That rain finally clears away from eastern Scotland later on. And then we've got rain coming into the west as we get into the beginning of next week, while eastern regions are drier. A few heavy showers, maybe some thundery downpours into the middle part of next week as well. Perhaps a bit of convection there for parts of England and Wales. And then into Bank Holiday weekend, well, we keep it showery at the very least. You know, probably not continuous rain, but certainly showery and mixed conditions into the Bank Holiday. These are up on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10. Gets us to the 6th of May. 15 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure to the west and to the northwest. So drier to the northwest and winds coming in from a northeasterly direction. Could be a bit on the cool side. We've got 14 with, by the way, this bank holiday Monday, isn't it? 6th of May, I think it is. Got 14 with low pressure over to the east country, high pressure out to west. That looks unsettled and quite cool, with winds in from the north. We've got 9 with low pressure right over top of the country. We have got 8 with lower pressure up to the northwest, so that's looking a bit showery. And we've got 5 again, bringing low pressure in from off the Atlantic. They look a bit mixed, I have to say. Most of those options do look a little bit mixed for Bank Holiday Monday. The majority option is the more settled one, but if you put the more unsettled ones together, then actually it looks like ECM ensembles are probably facing quite unsettled conditions for Bank Holiday Monday. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. Gets us to the 11th of May. 17 members of the ECM ensemble. Still about high pressure out to the west, low pressure to the east. So rather cool, little bit on the showery side, especially for the east, maybe 10 with high pressure up towards Scandinavia. Quite a bit of dry weather with that, winds in from the east. We've got 9 with low pressure, keeping it unsettled. We've got another 9 with low pressure between Scotland and Iceland. That's rather cool and showering. And then we've got 6, maybe going in the same direction as the GFS midnight run, but that looks like a bit of pressure from the Azores. So those 6 possibly building up the Azores high and bringing something finally drier and warmer maybe, but only 6 doing that, very much a minority option. Overall, I think it's still looking a bit cool and a bit showery at both day 10 and day 14, to be honest. CFS V2 finally, so we have a latest 700 millibar height anomaly looking for May. Today, remember these change daily, so tomorrow could look different, but today's idea has high pressure in the North Atlantic, low pressure down towards Spain. That will bring the wind in from the east or from the northeast. Remember, May is our most easterly of all of the months, so of the year, so that's not a particular surprise. Temperature anomalies are only about average. That's just like a bit of a northeasterly component, I think, to that wind, and precipitation shows no signal at all. So a little bit mysterious there for temperature and precipitation for May, but I would imagine like probably quite similar to April, really. Maybe a drier month, though, that high pressure out in the North Atlantic, maybe. Fingers crossed we get a drier month and some warm weather going soon. Hopefully we will. Okay, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please do like, share and subscribe. Make sure you're on board doing that. Why not drop a comment? Let us know what you think about this and all our videos and content. Don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. And thank you so much for doing that. Right, so I should thank you again for all of the amazing comments that you left and have been leaving, you know, about my good news and my clean bill of health in terms of the net. Right, so just so what's happening on the chart tomorrow, we're going to have B6 AM UK weather forecast. We've got the second summer 2024 season model round again, all long range models together. See what they're showing for summer for the second time this season. We've got a weekend forecast. There will be a 10 to 14 day, but maybe quite late. Could be about 5, 6-ish in the evening. You remember Rainbows, who we did charity fundraiser for. They've got their open day tomorrow, and I'll be taking myself off to Loughborough then to go to the Rainbows open day tomorrow afternoon for an hour or so. So that might delay day, 10 to 14 day, but it will eventually turn up, probably sometime in the evening. Well, you enjoy the rest of your Friday, and for this one, though, that's all for now, and thanks so much.